Hey everyone, Steve here again with another Remington's Ramblings. Okay, so let's get down to business, alright? Where is that thing? Where is it? There we go. Notebook. I bought like a 3-pack of these little mini notebooks because I'm always coming up with like just random ideas that I want to talk about on these videos, but by the time I ever get anywhere where I actually have a paper and something to write it down on, I always forget. So now I'm starting up a list of things to talk about. I am not going to be talking about anything that I have in here today because I've got some other things that I just came up with. So, anyways, before I even start talking about that, I just finished cutting all the pieces out of this. This is a Space Marine Assault Squad, and I just brought this up randomly because these are the instructions I got in here. Alright? This is for Warhammer Fantasy Empire Flagellants. Okay. I got instructions for not only the wrong unit, but even the wrong game. Interesting. Has that ever happened to any of you? Have you ever bought like a Games Workshop thing and you got wrong stuff in it? I'm kind of interested in that. Okay. So, here we go. I don't usually talk about political stuff because I hate politics. I hate politics and I don't care about politics. I honestly don't give a damn. For the most part. Mostly because I can't do anything about it. And so, the first thing I'm going to talk about is just politics. Not politics in general, but people not happy with how politics are and wanting them to be changed, but not really doing anything about it. Alright. I got this friend. His name is Zach. And I know that Zach watches these videos, alright? So first of all, no offense, dude, okay? No offense, man, but like these are just my own personal opinions, okay? Okay, so Zach, pretty much just about every single day, he will post a journal, like on DeviantArt, about all these political things, I mean, he's very opinionated in his politics and stuff, just because that's how he is, Okay, I understand that. Politics aren't my thing, they're his thing. But he's always complaining about how bad things are, and how much he just hates Obama and all of his policies, and things he said he would do and is not doing, and just anything and everything that has to do with politics. And he wants stuff to change. And you know what? Personally, I'd like things to change too. But here's the difference between me and him. I don't know, I guess maybe he thinks that just by writing these things down, people will read them and then actually do something about it. You can complain about how this country's going to hell in a handbasket as much as you want. You can complain about it until you're blue in the face, but the honest-to-God fact is, unless you're willing to actively do something about it, nothing is going to change. He can post as many journals as he wants with pointing out all these facts and examples of stuff that's happening, stuff that's going wrong, but you know what? Until you're willing to do something about it, it doesn't matter. So, I think it was like a year, maybe 2 years ago, this group of individuals was arrested. I think they were like secessionists. They were planning to, I guess, like march or attack Washington, D.C., and demand change. I mean, like, they were training with, like, firearms and attack dogs and everything, like, out in the woods and stuff. And, they were found out, I think, like, by the CIA or something. They were all arrested. But you know what? They're actually doing something. They're not happy with how things are in this country. They're not happy with, like, what's going on with politics. And they were willing to do something about it. Not just sit there in front of a computer and type out their complaints on the keyboard and post it online so, maybe 10 people can read it. They were actually willing to get guns and march in and demand change. And honestly, that's the only way that stuff is going to change in this country. You know, you like I said, you can complain until you're blue in the face, but until you're ready to put it all on the line, grab a weapon and demand that things change and change now, nothing's going to change. Nothing's going to change. The only people that are going to get elected to office are people with money. That's it. You're never going to get someone who wants to do the right thing for the right reasons in office, because they're never going to have enough money. That's just how it is. To be elected, you need money because you need to run a campaign. So that's just how it is. The country is run by individuals who are kind of just in it for the money. It's unfortunate, but it is true. So, like I said, until you are willing to grab a firearm, get a whole bunch of people with firearms, and march on the Capitol and demand that things change and things change now, nothing is going to change. That's just how it is. All right? Okay. Political rant is over. All right. Next thing I was going to talk about. Crap. I forgot. Notebook time. Maybe if I remember later on, I can write it down. Okay. Something good. Something good. Okay, well, we're already doing politics. Why don't we talk about this one? The right to bear arms, both sides of the argument. Okay. The right to bear arms. For those of you who don't know what this is, the right to bear arms is the Second Amendment. And the Second Amendment states that, U.S. citizens have the right to bear arms. That means possess firearms. I know that this is a big topic right now. You got some bitch in Washington that is trying to ban weapons. So basically, law-abiding citizens will not be able to own weapons because it will be against the law. But of course, that means that criminals that don't give a damn about the law are going to be the ones who have weapons. So they can just walk into any old home and hold people up and steal their stuff because, hey, they know they don't have weapons. All right? So, there are two sides to this argument, and like I said, it's a big topic right now just because there's like school shootings and stuff. Well, you know what? There's been school shootings for a long time. Yeah, I think, the as far as I know, at least from my generation, the big thing was Columbine High School. Columbine High School was this huge thing, big tragedy. Some trenchcoat mafia came in and shot the place up, killed a bunch of kids, planted bombs, all that stuff. And that kind of leads into another topic that I have here, which I will not be talking about today. But anyways, so you got people going into schools and shooting kids. So they want to, there are two sides of the argument. Some people say, well, arm the teachers, give the teachers guns. They'll keep it in a locked drawer in their office. And, if someone comes into school with a gun, some kind of alarm goes off, the doors automatically lock, and the teacher just pulls out the keys, unlocks the drawer, pulls out the gun. Now whoever busted into the school with a gun has to face the fact that they're going to be going up against a bunch of teachers, probably 20 of them, all of them armed. So it's one guy with a gun versus 20 with guns. So, that would probably make some people stop and think, do I really want to go into a school and start trying to shoot up kids? Because I'm probably going to get killed first. And another, the other side says, well, you shouldn't be arming teachers because then, children might have access to guns if they're able to pick the lock or whatever. And then there's people who are going to the actual Second Amendment itself and saying, well, when the Founding Fathers said that, as American citizens we have the right to bear arms, they were talking about the firearms of the time, which were black powder muzzle loaders. So, you would have to get the black powder and put it in, then you would get the mini ball and put that in, and a person who is really, really well trained at reloading the rifle would probably be able to get 3 shots off in 1 minute. They would be able to reload their gun in 20 seconds, and that's for one single shot. So people who are against possession of guns are saying that's what the Founding Fathers were talking about. Those were the guns that they meant. Ones that would take 20 seconds to reload for one shot if you were good most people will be able to get off about 2 shots a minute. While other people, say the right to bear arms means the right to bear arms. That means, any guns, whatsoever, any weapons we should be able to own. I mean, technology had advanced, before the founding fathers made the Constitution. So, they weren't living in the Dark Ages. They weren't fighting with swords and shields anymore. They had firearms. They were somewhat primitive firearms, but they were still firearms. So technology had advanced before then, and they would have figured that technology would continue to advance, and one of those technologies, of course, would be weapons technology. Therefore, when they said the right to bear arms, they meant any firearms that are made before, now, and after. Now, it's a hot topic right now, and it has got a lot of people literally up in arms. Okay, so anyways, I do own some guns. I do have some weapons. I can see both sides of the argument, and here is my personal opinion on it. Basically, I think that there should be some kind of system of accountability for purchasing and possessing a firearm. Essentially, when you go and you buy a gun, doesn't matter if it's a rifle or a handgun, you have to go through a background check. There's like a 14-day wait period, at least here in California, to be able to, from the time that you buy a gun and the time that you can actually take possession of it and take it home. I think that what should happen is that there is, when you do the background check, it is tied into a criminal information net. And if you have a criminal record, that would limit the types of guns you could buy. And so if you are a law-abiding citizen that has a completely clean record, you should be able to buy any kind of small arms there is, from a handgun all the way up to a semi-automatic rifle. Okay, I think that that's just how it should work. And if you have committed certain crimes, then certain weapons would be marked off on that list that you could not possess. So any American citizen can own a firearm, but it is completely dependent upon your criminal record. If you have some kind of a record, the less weapons you're able to buy. That is my personal opinion on it. If you've committed certain crimes, you are unable to buy certain guns. Now, of course, that doesn't stop the black market, but I think that's just the way it should be. That's kind of system of accountability. All right, so we've gotten the right to bear arms out of the way. Okay, why don't we do that other thing with the guns, the Columbine thing. This doesn't have to do with Columbine, but it's kind of related. And this is dated TV shows and movies. Alright, now when I say dated TV shows and movies, I mean when you watch a TV show or a movie and you can just tell how old it is. Like, I hate it when I'm watching some movie and it says present day. And it is obviously not present day. I mean, we are not wearing bell-bottoms, walking around with afros, and driving cars made in the 70s, and have cell phones that are like giant bricks. That is not present day. I hate it when movies say present day. Give the year. Put the year down there. Like, I'm sitting there watching Close Encounters of the Third Kind, and it says present day. It is not present day. Not present day at all, my friend. We don't have that hair anymore. Alright, so, one thing that really dates movies is not just, the technology, because anytime you see a car or a cell phone, it automatically dates that TV show or movie. You're like, okay, you have that kind of phone? Alright, that's an old-ass phone. I haven't seen one of those things in 10, 15 years. But another one is social attitudes. So, I already had my Remington's ramblings about not growing up with TV and not getting to watch TV shows when I was a kid. And one of those TV shows was X-Files, which I had to buy the entire series on DVD later on and then just go on a giant marathon watching. So I was watching X-Files a few years back, and I came across this one episode where there was this kid getting picked on in school. And I looked at what he was wearing. He was wearing black pants, a black t-shirt, and a long black trench coat. And right in my head, I thought, bam, trench coat mafia. He was the perfect example of trench coat mafia. And here is these dumb jocks picking on this guy, treating him like crap. That was what dated the show for me. Now, I did see the old cars, I did see the old cell phones, but it was them picking on this kid that really dated it for me. Because, just, a few years later, there is no way they would have been picking on that kid. They would have been afraid that he was going to come into the school with a freaking shotgun and blow them away. They'd be scared to death of that kid. They wouldn't touch him with a 10-foot pole. That's what really dated it for me because, they were picking on him then. They wouldn't have later on. They would have left him well alone because he straight up would have killed them. And they'd have known it. So, personal gripe of mine is when TV shows and movies say present day. Just put the year. Put the year. Okay, so this movie takes place in the 70s. Great. Put 1973. Alright, don't put present day. Because as soon as you put present day, you're saying, this movie will last forever. Yeah, sure. No, not quite. Okay? I mean, Star Wars says a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. So not only is it far, far away from here, it's a long, long time ago. It doesn't say present day in some other galaxy a long ways away from here. I guess you could do that because, hey, but, whatever. You get my point. Don't say present day in movies. And another gripe of mine is independent movies. Small, low-budget independent movies. There are tons of mistakes that are made in, low-budget movies. Essentially, there's a lot of cliches. One of them is if you see a naked chick anywhere within the first 5 minutes of the movie. If there's a naked chick anywhere within the first 5 minutes of a movie, that movie's going to suck. Straight up, hands down, no argument. The movie is going to suck. Because they put their money shot right there. Right there in the very beginning. You put a naked chick in. So you are just assuming that everyone who's going to be watching this movie is going to be some horny guy who is just, who's then going to sit there for the rest of the movie hoping to see that chick naked again. And of course you never do. She's fully clothed for the rest of the movie. That's just how it is. So don't put naked chicks in the first 5 minutes of your movie. If you're going to do it, put it halfway through. Or put it near the end, But, really don't waste our time. Don't put it 5 minutes in. Because if you put a naked chick into 5 minutes into a movie, I'm going to say, well, I've seen all that I needed to see in this movie. Click, turn it off, switch to something else. I've only wasted 5 minutes of my life. Okay, well, it is about 19 minutes now, and I try to keep these things at about 20 minutes, so I'm going to call it quits right here. Sorry that it was so random, but hey, this is Remington's Ramblings, and those ramblings can sometimes be pretty random. Anyhow, that's all I have for you this time. Check back later on for future films, and I will be signing out.